Hello Internet, welcome back to Slate Studio, and today we're going to continue looking at some old projects. Okay, let's see what we got. Template project. This is actually a good point to bring up. When I open an Ableton Session, this is what it looks like. This is the Ableton Session that I always start with when I start working on a new track. And there's a couple things to note here. So I have my sidechain bus at the top. I have a trigger that is a MIDI track that plays a sample here, a short kick drum, like we set up in the other video. I don't know if you remember that, but I have this sidechain set up for me so I don't have to do anything. I just have it when I need it, and when I want it to play, I just put a note here in the trigger, and it has to be on C3. And then I have my kick and snare, because these are the two things that in general are never going to be sidechained, and in general I want them to be the triggers for my sidechain. So if I ever need to do this, I have two samples loaded up here, but like this. Say for example, I needed sidechain on every single one of the drum hits. All I have to do is take this MIDI and copy it up here, and then take these two notes and just move them down. And bam, I have sidechain everywhere that I need it. And like if this was like 100 long, right? Then that makes it a lot easier to just take all of this, just copy it up here, and then select this note and just move it down. Done. Now I have sidechain for absolutely everything in like 5 seconds. So then I have buses. I have my drum bus, which has a drum rack in it, and I have a spot for drum fills, and I have a little EQ on it. Cymbals, vocals, synths, samples, effects. This is just how I categorize my sounds, because I generally treat all of these different elements in a different way. So vocals are going to be something that's in a focus. Drums are going to be something and that's in a focus. Cymbals always get sidechained apart from the drums. The drums are like drums, not the cymbals like those have to get sidechained most of the time. So I'm processing them differently. Then I have the vocals, and then I have the synths. The synths can range from just serum instances and synthesizers to like a piano. And the piano is technically a synthesizer in this case. It's not a real piano. It's just a sample library. Like if I draw out the notes, I can draw out notes. And so I don't actually have to play the piano, and that's why it's in the synthesizer category. I also have samples, so if I have anything that I'm working with, like stems for remixes, or I don't know, some vocal that I really like, that goes in here. That's just going to be a bunch of audio tracks. And effects are like white noise and sweeps and risers and blah blah blah. So everything, you can see everything is going to the sidechain except for the drums. And then the kick and snare are separate, just so that I can copy this MIDI over really quick. So that's my basic setup. This is how I start everything, and there's like nothing on the master. Maybe a utility plugin, and some EQ in case I want to do some automation like this. Template project was just a project that I opened every time I wanted to get this kind of set. And I didn't realize you could actually do this in Ableton. So if you go to Preferences and File Folder, you can save current set as default. And if you hit save, then you can overwrite the default set. I don't want to do that in this case because I made changes, but this is the easiest way to do it. So that way, if you have a project or something and you want to just open a new live set, bam, now you got a new set and everything is set up exactly how I want it to. And it saves me so much time. It saves me so much time in the remixing process. So that's a cool trick I learned in Ableton.